YouTube channel Nos Confunden. Chapter 22. The Hiurenk Portal, the Human Soul, Unconditional Love and Empathy. So it was that during this silent war between the ancestors and the custodians, the first Operation Portal Dome Breaker was carried out, which consisted in melting ice, always taking into account statistics in order not to generate any climatic disaster. Nos Confunden. For a long time, several ancestors departed from our ports to the known lands, or ancient lands, through this passage between fearsome giant icebergs, waves, and especially in front of the Custodian bewilderment, which when they discovered it already had several thousand of our masters publishing, teaching, and prioritizing unconditional love and empathy as a way of life. I must admit here that several people of the new humanity were rescued and left for our lands, but this happened in a small stage and with a small group. The scientific conditioning almost collided abruptly by the time they realized what was happening in that remote area of the Pacific Ocean. Some 2,000 ancestors were already scattered throughout the known lands, delivering all information, some successfully and others not so much, about the infinite spiritual growth, questioning the scientific minds, what seemed unquestionable until that moment, that many secret organizations, with direct custodian connection and manipulation, are made known. Nos Confunden. And as if that were not enough, some human vessels arrived in the area by chance, and not so by chance, and left with great astonishment, although only one of them dared to cross that dreaded passage, which was a death trap since it was not easily navigable, but would have to have great technology to cross it. But with a little luck, cunning and wind in favor, the impossible was forgotten when a group of 5 humans managed to cross it. It should be noted that this unfortunately was possible only in a short stage of weeks. When the custodians could notice that there was an ancestral hand in these teachings, they tried to corrupt them, and they were easily annihilated. The spiritual path was manipulated in such a way that it was taken to dirty business, added to other repudiated subjects that together with the great media made that the great tower built on pure teachings was completely demolished in a few weeks. Nos Confunden. Many masters were locked up and accused of different crimes, making known to all humanity the aberrant hidden causes they had, and somehow they began to unite these noble causes with perversion, business, and several other things that added to obscure the true purpose. Some of them ended up in psychiatric centers at the mercy of controversial behavioral treatments in conjunction with experiments of all kinds that they carried out since then. Others were taken to prisons with the worst conditions, and others were killed outright. The custodians again went into a rage against their old enemies, the ancestral ones and the Anakim, for their most precious lands. They feared again an attack from us. In fact, when they found the passage we had opened with the help of the beings of Cassiopeia, Hiurenk technology, they exploded and decided to attack our land several times. But they would do it in the most perverse way that they know how to do very well. Nos Confunden. Then they granted very advanced technology for the time to the humans themselves. In that way, the armed forces of the new humanity would attack several places before the first dome, but they would fail resoundingly. The Operation High Jump, of which we have already spoken previously, was the scene that they expected to generate some fear in the Antarctic zone and to be able to militarize the zone. In this way they would also infiltrate custodian beings in some of the Antarctic bases and throughout the Antarctic Circle to surround and undermine the zone with earthquake generating radars. Nos Confunden. This type of technology generates earthquakes of great magnitude as soon as it receives an alert of infiltration of ancestral human DNA or some type of matter that they themselves previously added. This happened for a long time and continues to happen today. Clearly, this was not going to stop my father, Morris, and Butler to continue on their way to achieve the liberation of the new humanity. They would look for other ways, and no doubt they would dare to infiltrate again in the lands of origin. Hiurenk had given them some information to penetrate the membrane by air, but it was a very risky mission, although, as I said, greater was their illusion to liberate them. YouTube channel Nos Confunden.